what they've put together with the people. I mean, gosh, I know we employ well over 200 people. We're probably the fastest growing full RCM company in the dental space. So it's just how can we scale better and be smart and continue to grow the business. So I love being part of this team.
Oh, we're rolling. Oh, we're live, dude.
I love it. Let's go.
What's going on, everybody? This is episode 5 of the ZeroBalance Podcast. It's been an absolute blast. You know, we kicked this off with Josh and Davey, and then we got a chance to speak with Greg. Then I got a chance to speak with Will and Harry. We had a little football conversation, Georgia and Alabama. I very cautiously let them know that I was an Ohio State fan. That did not go over well, John, but I wanted to listen to them. And then we had a great conversation with Angela, kind of the niche of niche, like you all helping in the oral surgery space. But now you, Vice President of Sales, it's good to have you, man. How you doing?
Doing great, great. I thought you were now a Mississippi State fan.
I'm going to be. I mean, you know I'm going to be watching your son. I mean, that's a given. I'm going to be going to the stats. I'm going to be looking, seeing what he's doing. I'm going to be texting you. So, that's a given.
Hopefully we can do some NIL deals down the road.
Well, we were talking about that last night. I'm excited for kind of what that looks like. But for the sake of this one, we're going to kind of carry this theme through where I've had the opportunity to speak with just this amazing team at DCS. You have a long history in dentistry, and I'm super curious of what it was about DCS that really excited you, why you're here. We're going to talk about that. I want to talk a little bit about Quanta Suite, certainly your relationships with a lot of the DSOs in the dental industry, what you're most excited about. But what was it about the DCS connection that got you excited?
So I've known the owners for, almost 13 years. I worked with Ryan DeLetcher, one of the owners, previously, and I kind of saw them grow this business, and I kind of saw the evolution of DCS, how it continued to grow, and I would be feeding Ryan leads with some DSO friends and whatnot, and the timing was right, and to jump on board. They're a Savannah-based company. I'm here in Savannah with Allison and the kids, and so it was just a perfect fit. But honestly, it's the people and the culture at DCS which sets it apart. It's a special place. Great group of people, really driven to grow, but they care about the clients, and we're doing good stuff.
Well, you've known this because you've been a part of a lot of different dental companies. It's not every day that a dental company is made up of people, in many cases, that worked inside the dental practice. And so you, in a lot of regards, have the answers to the test. Then it's a matter of how can you create a service offering that helps solve that problem, and then have the credibility, because as you've seen, the practices know, okay, they've been there, done that. They understand where I'm coming from.
Right. Well, I have a ton of respect for, Josh and Davey, they worked in a dental group.
Yep.
So they know this business, and they were doing it and working on ARs for a big dental group, and they saw an opportunity to start a business. So these guys have rolled up their sleeves. They've done it. They know what it takes, and then they've started this company. It started from ground zero in essentially a garage to where we are today, and the growth has been astronomical.
Another garage story, like Apple and like all these great ones.
I don't know if it was a garage, but it was a small setting for sure.
I love that. Yeah, of course, right? I mean, I think that's the thing. And I remember in episode 1 just having the conversation with the two of them, and I think the thing that I took away from that, John, is that even though there was a lot of unknowns, like there always is, I could sense a true level of conviction that they knew what the problem was, and they felt confident that they could solve it. Then it was like figuring out everything else out, which is kind of as you guys have grown and bringing on people and so on and so forth. But yeah, that at least was the biggest takeaway.
100%. And I can't wait for you to meet Ryan. He's also very dynamic. But honestly, what they've put together with the people, I mean, I know we employ well over 200 people. We're probably the fastest growing full RCM company in the dental space. So it's just how can we scale better and be smart and continue to grow the business. So I love being part of this team.
You've had the opportunity also to work with, I'll kind of call it like it is, dental companies that have a lot of cool, sexy technologies and, Zoom whitening and all that stuff or what have you. Like, this is just an everyday service that practices need help with. What have you wanted to bring to the table? Like, with your industry experience as you kind of came into this, like, what was your focus on where you thought, okay, this is where I feel like I can help this organization grow and add, tons of value?
So, my dental background, I started at Discus Dental way back when. I've been in this space for a long, long time. A lot of my experience has been with the DSOs. but I've pretty much been a widget guy or an equipment guy,
Right.
and now I'm selling a service. So the last 16 months, I've learned quite a bit, but how can we allow the customer to focus on dentistry, providing the best level of service for their patients, allow us to take on some of that burden of the back office stuff, free that up so their staff can deliver better services to the patient, and allow us to take on that stuff for them, and then they can just focus on better dentistry. And it's like a no-brainer. Let us do that stuff. We know how to do it. We have experts that focus on that, and we can get them their revenue, and collect their AR and get their aging reports down into a good status so they can just continue peace of mind so they can sleep at night. I think a lot of these dentists, they take their eye off the ball on the business side of it, as we all know.
Yep.
It's a common theme, and before you know it, spirals out of control. So not only, and that's led to our project side of the business. We just started a project-based business unit to focus. I mean, because we come in there and it's a mess, and it requires a special project to go in there and get it cleaned up. But it's rewarding. We've evolved some unbelievable relationships with customers because we're able to get them in a really good place where they can just focus on providing next level dentistry to their patients.
Yeah, I was speaking with Will and Harry, John, and I really feel like I'm getting this sense from a lot of clinicians out there that they know how important it is. They want to get more connected to their patients in a human way.
Right.
And that only means one thing, right? You're going to have a choice to make. And that is like a lot of these business operational pieces in the dental practice, who's going to help me with this? Because I'm not going to be able to do both. I'm not going to be able to do it both well. And so I think that's what's exciting about where you guys are going, because I think that if that allows them to do that, everybody wins, right? The patients feel like they're getting better care. And I don't know what you think, but I just feel like that's been kind of on the minds of a lot of clinicians for many years, is that like, is there a way? And yet I feel like we finally are at like a breakthrough. Greg was mentioning this in one of the episodes of like his perspective of the industry and how he was surprised how some of these technologies, they were behind a little bit. But as you and I both know, in a dental practice, I mean, it always was for many years, I like to call it like a reactive type of industry. We went to the practice when we needed to get our teeth cleaned or when we were in pain. And practices didn't have to do a lot of marketing. They didn't have to do a lot of things to garner the attention.
Right.
Now I feel like when they have to be more proactive, because there's more on every street corner, these things really start to bubble up.
100%. And the insurance companies are in business to make money. And, it's a fact that 1 out of every 3 insurance claims get shredded by the insurance provider. And so, we know how to navigate these payers. We know how to get these claims processed, in a timely manner and accurately. And, if we have to kind of dispute claims, that's what we do. So we have assembled a great team. And that's how DCS was built, on insurance collections. That's really what we do. We kind of get paid on what we collect. But as that business has grown and evolved, we've seen other opportunities because, you have your insurance collections, but then you also have your patient collections. How can we do that? And so what's really cool about DCS is we started out as a service company, but we've seen opportunities to grow, and now we're starting to leverage automation, and we're getting into softwares. And so that allows us to deliver just better services and solutions to our customers. It's unbelievable.
And speaking on that, so another thing that I was speaking with Greg was when he looked at everything, he was like, okay, there is a level of excitement about new technology in a dental practice, but also because of their limited time, they don't necessarily hop on it or start working with a company right off the bat because of maybe their history or what have you. And there does need to be a level of education. And I know that was one of the reasons why it was important you guys to start this podcast, because even after these first initial episodes, we thought it was important to establish who you are as a team.
Yeah.
I know the plan then is to bring people from the industry, many of which that have led successful practices and organizations, and start to have them share like what they've learned in an effort to kind of pass that through to your customers and those that follow this podcast to be able to learn. One of Greg's point was that if we can get these practices to learn more and feel comfortable with like those challenges, it makes it easier for them to embrace the technologies. Because without that, it doesn't matter how good, as the product or service the technology is, they might not hop on it because they just don't quite understand it. Right. So talk about that and kind of what your excitement is to go to some of these individuals and bring them on the ZeroBalance podcast to have them talk about kind of their own situation and what they've done well, what they haven't, and what they've learned.
Well, just backing up a little bit, you brought up a good point. You asked about kind of what brought me to DCS. I've worked for some really cool dynamic leaders. Discus Dental, there was Robert Heyman and Bill Dorfman, both still kind of icons in the dental space. At Brassler, working for Don Waters, and who's now retired. He's doing his own private capital stuff. But Colin Rogers, he's now the CEO of NSK America, doing really well. So I've worked for some really cool people. So Ryan Delettra came to me and said, come work for us. And so I had kind of put it off. And he's like, you got to meet Greg Gray. He's our CEO. And so they brought in Greg as a business coach. And he was coaching, Ryan, Josh, and Davey on how to kind of grow this business, how to scale it, how to incorporate the right people and maximize opportunities. And he's like, you got to meet Greg. So turns out Greg had recently moved to Amelia Island, 2 hours down the road. I'm like, let's grab breakfast. So we set up a breakfast. I met Greg at this little diner. And so I'm there early, of course. And Greg walks in flip-flops and shorts and whatnot, sits down. And I'm like, all right, But meanwhile, it was the fastest hour ever. I'm like, I left there. I immediately picked up the phone and called Ryan Delettra, and I said, I got to work for this guy. Super, just incredibly smart, but just you could tell like he had the right idea on how to run a business. He was all about the people and the culture and team, and so it just hit on me, and so that's what really got me here, and just that meeting with Greg. But following up to your question, I think some of the automation and the technologies that we're bringing to the dental space are truly game changers. Again, DCS was this big service company that started out with the insurance payers, and that was kind of our bread and butter. It required a lot of people, manpower. Pick up the phone and talk to the payers. This automation allows us to become super efficient. It allows the office to increase staff and efficiency. So, there's a hiring issue right now in the dental space. We all know it. Some of these automation and tools allow you to free up that front office people to kind of focus on a better level of dentistry and kind of give you that peace of mind. So the ZeroBalance product, total game changer. We're one of the only solutions that does full write back to pretty much every PMS out there, real time. The dashboard capabilities and visibility that a private practice has, or an enterprise version for the DSO, it's just unbelievable. I don't think there's anyone in the space that has what we have currently. So we're having some unbelievable success stories. We kind of did some soft launches. We're going to be doing a big launch here at DICMA coming up, which we're really excited about. But there's some really cool stuff coming from DCS and Quanta. And
we're going to take this podcast on the road and be at DICMA, kind of right in the middle of where a lot of people are.
I love it.
And we're going to set it up like a big college game day desk and have some great conversations with a lot of people in the industry. And again, I love that you share that story, because I think that was really important from Greg, which is it's one thing to be excited about a technology, but let's call it like it is. Like, there is an element of a company like yours being able to, like, little by little educate the practices on like what the benefits are of that. Because we've all been in that situation, John, and many dentists have been, as you know, where they've bought something, they've purchased something, it didn't work out, they couldn't implement it, and so they can have a tendency to be a little skeptical, right?
For sure.
And I think that's what I was excited about this podcast, is what you all making the commitment to be able to educate the industry on kind of where they can go.
For sure.
Which is really exciting.
And deliver results.
Yeah.
Get them their money. They're providing these services. They need to get paid, and things get tight. So it's awesome when we can help them do that.
So what was it like for you? I've been in this situation several times where you have relationships in the industry, you work for an exciting new company with a great service, and then you get to kind of go out and talk to those all people and introduce this. What was that process like for you? It's a little bit different than when you're brand new and you're trying to establish relationships. First of all, it's them just getting to know and like and trust you. Then you have to talk to them about the product. You have built a lot of good relationships. So what was that like to be able to kind of, in some cases, pick up the phone, meet with some of these people, and accelerate the process of being able to help them?
I think you said the key word. It's the trust factor. I've been super fortunate to evolve some really awesome relationships in the DSO space. And I've made a couple moves in my career, and everyone's always come on board, because I think they believe in me. They know that I'm not just going to, throw a something at them that's not going to work.
gonna work out, yeah.
That's not how I'm wired. I tell everybody, if you put Jon Kromenhoek on a used car lot, his wife and kids would starve to death. That's just not me. I know I can deliver a good solution, and then the proof's in the pudding, right? So we have to show it, we have to prove it. Even with ZeroBalance, we provide a 30-day free pilot. Test it out, see it work, and let us deliver that ROI for you, and then it's a no-brainer. So it's fun being able to have a great product. Listen, I'm on the back nine of my career, and it's just awesome to be working with a really great group of people that has some really cool innovations.
So can you touch on some of the different guests we're going to bring on this podcast, people that you've known? I know one of our episodes is going to be with a gentleman from Beacon. I know because some of the people that we've talked about, even like Steve Built from Smile Brands, like who are some of the people that you are excited to kind of bring on here that we can set the stage for everybody that's watching this and listening to this of kind of what they can expect, from this content?
Yeah, so, Mike Frigoletto, he's the CEO of Beacon, has a long background at GE and Care Credit, super smart guy. I've known Mike for, 20 years. And now Beacon, they're one of the largest OMS DSOs out there, and they've been an incredible client partner. So we've had some incredible successes with them. So Mike's going to be coming on. I was just out at the ADSO priming the pump with some other clients. We're talking about getting Jeannie Cook on. She was at DCA, Dental Care Alliance, for 30 plus years. I've talked to Mitch Olin, who is the former CEO there and chairman of the board, and now he's out. He's on several boards. I spoke with the folks at Smile Brands. I was vendor of the year for Smile Brands. That was probably my number one largest client, and so I'm excited to kind of engage them and get them involved. So we got some really good people coming on board. And Gino DeSimone, he's going to be coming on. Gino, he's my mentor for 25 plus years, my first boss, and he hired me at Discus Dental back in it was 1999. And Gino's awesome. He's now the CEO of an emerging DSO up in the Northeast, so he's going to be coming on, and so some really good people, and real people that know the space.
Yeah, I think the whole idea, Greg talked about it. One of the commitments that you all have made as a team is to be a learning organization. And as you know, Jon, if you're going to live by that, that means let's gather some of these people in the industry, have them share with everybody else what's worked, what hasn't worked, what's been their successes, what's been some of their failures. Everybody can learn from that. And I think that's one of the great thing about dentistry, for those of us who've been in for so many years, is ultimately when all of these professionals, companies and the like, get together, the patients win, right? Ultimately this is about, as you know, yes, it's about business and growing a business, but it's also about making sure that patients continue to get more care, which is really exciting.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And in the case of DCS and QuantaSuite, the professionals get paid.
100%.
So that they can keep giving more care.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
Awesome. Any final thoughts?
No, I'm super excited about this podcast. I'm super excited about the vision that we have at DCS and QuantaSuite and some of the innovations that we're about to roll out. Dykeman's going to be incredible, but we're looking forward to working with you and bringing some of this new technologies to the space. It's going to be fun.
So before we came on here, I actually had a conversation with your son Luke, and he also was concerned about you being on the used car lot. So he's a college football player, and so he's got his eye out for you.
Yeah.
And so no need to worry about the used car lot, and I think you're going to be okay.
Yeah. So fortunately, Dykeman's not on a Saturday, or I probably wouldn't be there. That's a tough time to get me in the falls, but yeah, Luke's at Mississippi State now. He transferred from Florida State, awesome. But we're excited about that. So good stuff, but all good. It's great still being in Savannah. It's good seeing you again.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
And I'm excited about the future, for
awesome.
sure.
Congrats, man. Good luck.
Thanks, Jon.
All right, see you, buddy.
See you, buddy.
Yep.